Hey, we're UBC Enable, a student design team at the University of British Columbia. Over the past 8 months, we've co-designed an automated finger stretching device for our client, Evan.
I think I was interested to have my intention on the rehab. Currently, an attendant is helping me. It's something I can't do independently. Things that I would include are definitely vertical stretching, up and down, horizontal stretching, abduction and abduction in my bed or on my wheelchair. So it can be more of a multitasking kind of a deal, I think, is what we're looking at.
Once we understood Evan's core needs and requirements, we moved into concept generation. Through multiple rounds of ideation, we explored various different mechanisms for automated stretching, and ultimately narrowed down our ideas to two main concepts, a design we've coined the macaroni, and a rack and pinion-based design.
Our mechanical team focused on modeling single-finger mechanisms for stretching and putting the working principles of the macaroni and the rack and pinion to practice. In our macaroni design, each finger is guided along a motorized curved rail configured to Evan's range of motion. The fingers move along the guided rail via a pulley system within each macaroni, which consists of a metal chain and a series of sprockets. However, in our prototype, it was bulky due to each finger needing its own macaroni unit. The noise from the movement of the chain was also a downside. In our rack and pinion design, each finger sits on its own bed that moves up and down via a motorized circular gear mesh to a straight track. To integrate with the motors powering up and down motion, we also designed a worm gear attachment for each finger. However, in practice, the worm gears struggled to mesh with the motor, creating skips and breaks which led it to not fulfilling its intended full range of motion. Both designs would be supported by the same foundation, a finger abduction-adduction platform for horizontal stretching, as well as a contoured hand platform, enclosure, and mounting interface designed to be modular through dovetail joints, allowing easy attachment to both his armrest and his pillow setup. But that's only for the 4 fingers. There's also the thumb. Our difficulty integrating the thumb highlights a broader challenge in bringing all components together.
Here's our prototype, but we found out since we developed the 4 fingers and then the thumb separately, when you try to put the thumb mechanism in, it clashes with the index finger mechanism. So we need to figure out a way to fit them all together.
Our electrical team's focus was safely motorizing the mechanical elements of each prototype. Their first step was selecting the motors that would power each finger. We considered multiple different kinds of DC, stepper, and servo motors. DC motors have high torque and speed control, but their continuous motion and power restraints made them suboptimal for our design. Closed-loop stepper motors are very precise, but have limited ranges of motion and are difficult to procure for the amount of torque necessary to move each finger. Servo motors are also very precise, but require a more complex wiring system to support multiple fingers in series. Ultimately, we were able to find a stepper with high enough torque to support finger stretching, and chose to use 4 stepper motors to power the pointer, middle, ring, and pinky fingers, a servo motor for the thumb, and another servo motor to drive the abduction-adduction stretching mechanism beneath. We got the stepper motor integrated in a single finger prototype for both the macaroni and the rack and pinion designs, and are now working on getting all 6 motors working in series. Here's Nigel to speak on that further.
We're currently working on developing a shift register system so that can cycle through all the motors. Currently working on code for that. We're also just focusing on the power draw that we're going to be getting. We have our adapter that'll plug into the wall here. So we'll worry about that, and we will add some capacitors into the power rail so that everything can be smooth, and other than that,
so everything.
With Evan's feedback in mind, we're pursuing a design that synthesizes the aspects of the macaroni and the rack and pinion into one final prototype. We're working on incorporating a guide rail to the rack and pinion, enforcing secure up and down motion while minimizing device size. We're also working on updating our housing dimensions to better integrate with Evan's bed and wheelchair. Feedback from Evan that we're carrying into this prototype include eliminating pinch points at each finger and an adaptive switch fail-safe button so Evan can independently end his stretching session.
Yeah, well, I think an active stretching device is helpful for a couple reasons. I think that it gives you some flexibility of use depending on progress in your body. I think user focus is something that gets overlooked a lot, which is a little backwards considering the people that are going to be using it at the end of the day are the people who need to be comfortable, and they're the people who need productivity out of these devices. So I think user-centered focus is extremely important, and I'm happy to see it being done here.